Can you tell me a little bit about what just went on here tonight?
Okay. Well, I came to the board meeting tonight because I have an issue with the Wiz. Cicero North Syracuse High School will be doing the Wiz in March with an all-white cast. African-American students did audition. There are talented African-American students at Cicero North Syracuse High School. However, they were all put or cast in the ensemble for singing and dancing. All of the lead and the support roles will be portrayed by white students. That's an issue.
Now, why exactly do you, I mean, obviously we know The Wiz is an African-American play and movie, but why exactly do you feel that this has taken place, or why the students feel this way?
Well, the students feel this way because some of the students behind me had auditioned, and they are talented, but they were put in the ensemble. And I don't think it's all based on race, so don't get me wrong on that. It's based on a cultural norm. Certain students are connected to the theater, therefore certain students are always in the lead, in the support roles. When you choose to do a play, a black play, especially at a predominantly white school, you have to be culturally aware of what you're presenting. How do you portray a message of a black play with an all-white cast? There's not one black student. That's wrong. And I explained to not the superintendent, I never had dialogue with her. I explained to the administrators when I went to the high school. Other predominantly white schools did the Wiz, but the artistic directors made it a vision, an intention to include African-American students who are normally not in theater programs for whatever reason.
So as part of the African-American community, can you kind of just put into words what this decision means to you and how that affects you?
It's going to feel like a mockery. I mean, for example, at Westfield High School in Chantilly, Virginia, the artistic director there, who was a white male, reached out to an African-American choir director to assist him in portraying the soulfulness that is the essence within the Wiz. There was no collaboration, there was no effort, there was no intention on making the cast diverse. None whatsoever.
So are the students who were put in the ensemble, are they going to be in the play or not at all?
From my understanding, I can speak for my child. She was cast, she was called back for 2 support roles, Glinda, the Good Witch, and Eveline. She was upset because she's a great vocalist and she wanted a lead role, but she was like, you know what, I'll go for a support role. She got cast within the ensemble. She said, you know what, Mommy, I'm going to humble myself and I'm going to still do it. I'm going to go and do it. She went to the first rehearsal. She said, you know what, I am more than this. I am talented and I'm not just going to sit in the background because that's where they want to put me. And when she decided not to participate, I went to the high school and explained to them, with me coming up here for the principle of the matter, not advocating for my child because my child already made her decision. For me coming up here for the principle of the matter, under no circumstance will she participate in the Wiz because my daughter should have earned her spot based on her talent.
What would you like to see happen from here?
I mean, in the future, if you choose to do, for example, in the principal, is it Julian? Mm-hmm. She made the point for me. She said, you know, well, in the past we did Hairspray and we had a good number of African-American students. I said, well, you're supposed to. How are you going to portray a play based on segregation and discrimination without any African-American students? How are you going to do the Wiz, an all-black play, with no black students? Doesn't make sense.
So not to single out the young gentleman who spoke in there saying he thinks it's more about talent, but if you're hearing that from other people as well, what is your response to that? That they're not, they're not pulling the race card and that they are choosing based on talent?
Okay, it is based on talent, and like I said, my daughter is talented. All parents think their kids are exceptional and great, but CNS validated my daughter's talent by accepting her into the elite women's choir. She had to audition for that. They recognized that she's a great vocalist. When I went to the meeting, because initially when I went to the meeting, they thought I was coming there to complain about my daughter. She already made her decision. I was there to find out why are there no African American students in the leader to support roles of the Wiz. And at that time, I was confronted with, well, Kiera, yes, she's a great vocalist, and we had intentions on highlighting her vocals throughout the play. I said, well, did you share that with Kiera? Well, I said, did you go to the first rehearsal? Yes. Was Kiera at the first rehearsal? Yes. Well, you had ample opportunity to share that with Kiera. Kiera didn't make her decision based on having highlights throughout the play. Kiera based her decision on being in the ensemble, singing and dancing. So I just hope in the future that when CNS or any other predominantly white school choose to do a play that is culturally based, for example, A Raisin in the Sun, Hairspray, and The Wiz, utilize the talent that comes out. This is not Broadway. None of these kids are professionals. Okay, Scott Pafumi, who was the artistic director at Westfield High School, when he chose to do The Wiz at that predominantly white school, most of the African American students that tried out, that was their first time trying out for a theater production. And because they lacked experience, that wasn't held against them. He chose to use them. Yes, they were talented. And by all means, in school productions, the director's supposed to work with the kids to get them where they're supposed to be to perform. This is not Broadway where you come with a headshot, a resume, and say, I've done X, Y, and Z. This is a learning experience.
Quickly, you spoke of boycotting this production. Is
Yes.
there anything, any resolution that can come before this production happens to change your mind or to change
Well,
that?
at this time, no, because, I mean, honestly, as a parent as a theatrical person, I mean, I feel bad for the kids who are already invested their time and who are dedicated to portraying that. I'm not taking anything away from them, but I will still stand on what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And if my only avenue is to go ahead and boycott the play, I will do so. And please understand, when I went to meet with the principal and Mr. Bowles, the administrator that came for the superintendent, I explained everything to them. I'm a soldier. I respect the chain of command. And I told them, in the event we cannot resolve this here, these are the other avenues that I'm taking. Letter to the editor, NAACP. You know, I don't think they anticipated that I would go this far because they thought, oh, I'm just a disgruntled mom because my baby didn't get it. Wrong answer. It's the principle of the matter.